Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, October 11, 2022. The Sugar Company of Jamaica, SCJ Holdings, will be working with persons informally occupying property in the Bernard Lodge area of St. Catherine to amicably resolve their land disputes. Prime Minister Andrew Holness gave the assurance after meeting with the residents of Clifton and Bernard Lodge Farm on Friday. The area was the site of demolition work started to remove some of the buildings located on the property, which is owned by SCJ Holdings.
Some of the houses that are already there, what we have said, when we gave the direction to move with demolition, is that if structures are incomplete, demolish those. And you know why? Those structures are actually on agricultural land. If you look at it, and you have to be truthful, they are on the farmland.
We see that.
Right? Second thing we said, if a house is incomplete, but it has on a decking or a roof, we're going to leave it. The person who is doing it must come to us and they must tell us how they came by the land and give us all the information, and then we will sit with them, as you say, work out a situation with them, and we will see how we can facilitate them. For the houses that are already built, which are already built in the area that we are designated as the kind of spillover, those persons must come to the SCJ and we start a negotiation.
Mr. Holness says it is not the government's intention for citizens to be without a home, but he asserts that the law must be enforced. SCJ Holdings reported posting stop orders twice, warning the residents of the approximately 30 illegally constructed units. £5 million has been secured from the United Kingdom UK Blue Carbon Fund to invest in 3,800 hectares of mangroves in southern Clarendon and reforest the depleted areas. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Senator Matthew Samuda, says the government is also partnering with the University of the West Indies and other entities to protect the mangroves and boost income-generating opportunities for residents. The region has the largest area of mangrove degradation in the island. This is due to, among other things, unsustainable land use activities such as the cutting down of trees to burn coal. Minister Samuda says the restoration will be critical for protecting against storms, especially in low-lying areas. He says the government has secured a land lease to ensure the protection of the mangroves for the long stretch. The Forestry Department is also acquiring a buffer parcel of land as further protection for the stretch of mangroves that are to be restored. And the Ministries of Economic Growth and Agriculture are joining forces to build an agroforest wall inside the mangrove forest, which will create economic opportunities for the people of South Clarendon. Minister Samuda gave the update on Friday as he addressed the National Tree Planting Day ceremony held at the Ebony Park Agro Park. The observance is an annual initiative of the Forestry Department which seeks to promote the value of trees and contribute to increasing the island's tree cover. Children with special needs are to benefit from accessible digital textbooks, ADT, to boost their learning capacity. The materials will be made available to students who are visually or hearing impaired and those with intellectual, developmental, or learning disabilities. Various stakeholders in the education sector, along with representatives of the Ministry of Education, were brought together to develop the guidelines for producing the textbooks in the accessible digital format. They have been developed in keeping with the universal design for learning principles. The provision of ADT locally is part of a global initiative by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, in collaboration with its partners. Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, is encouraging teachers and school administrators to get on board with the accessible digital textbooks. She was addressing the recent launch of the ADT Jamaica prototype at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Library. 2 new coaster buses have been handed over to Lacovia High in St. Elizabeth to improve the school's transportation system. They were procured under the Ministry of Education's expanded pilot school bus program with funding from the Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project of the Government of Japan. A grant of approximately $135,000 was provided to purchase the buses from Toyota Jamaica. Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, says investments such as this will benefit not just the school, but Jamaica as a whole.
The reality is that Jamaica's public transportation system does not have an adequate number of buses to replicate a subsidized school bus service as we have in the Kingston metropolitan region of Kingston and St. Andrew and some parts of St. Catherine through the JUTC and a few other parishes. This is a most welcome addition to the efforts of the ministry to expand the rural school bus service.
She thanked the government and people of Japan for the buses and assured them that the staff and students at Lacovia High School would take the best care of the vehicles. Minister of Transport and Mining, Audley Shaw, is renewing the call for Jamaicans to exercise greater care on the road as the country records 350 road fatalities since the start of the year.
I urge all operators to obey the road code and drive for life. We must become fully aware of the traffic environment and take the requisite steps to protect passengers, selves, and others, because preservation of life is profoundly important as we seek to stem the tide of traffic crashes that continues to negatively permeate the socio-economic fabric of our society.
The minister was addressing a recent ceremony for the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, to facilitate the training of operators in the public transport sector. 1,000 personnel will be trained as Jamaica Union of Travelers Association JUTA counterparts, as well as first responders and road safety ambassadors under the Team Jamaica program. It's being undertaken by the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, British Caribbean Insurance Company, BCIC, Team Jamaica, and the Transport Authority. Minister Shaw commended the groups for coming together to enhance service delivery in the transportation sector. And finally, Jamaica's aviation development is expected to be bolstered by the island's recent election to the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO Council, for the 2022-2025 triennium. The ICAO Council is the 36-member governing body responsible for providing guidance to support aviation diplomacy and standards for 193 countries. Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw led the Jamaican delegation to ICAO's 41st Assembly held recently in Montreal, Canada. He says Jamaica's election positions the country to support the acceleration of the aviation industry. Director General of the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, Nari William Singh, who was a member of the delegation, says Jamaica's election is a good representation geographically for small island developing states to be included in developing aviation policy. Jamaica has been an ICAO member state since 1963 and represented the English-speaking Caribbean on the Council from 1977 to 1986. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.